Hi everyone, welcome to Messy Church Craft Time. What we're going to do is show you the craft in advance. So if you want to do it in advance of the Zoom on the 13th of September, you can do. If you'd rather do it live with us on the day, then you're very welcome to do that as well, because we'll be doing it live too. But we just thought some people might like to be able to do the craft in advance and then show us on the day. So in a previous video, I showed you how to make coloured pasta. If you remember, using food colouring and vinegar. If you didn't see that, then do have a look at it. I have discovered not to try and make it without the vinegar because it just doesn't work. Not sure what it is the vinegar does, but it does. Now, we've got the coloured pasta. You don't have to use coloured pasta. You can use whatever you want that is lots of different colours. So, for example, you might have a magazine. Probably isn't Rugby World, but that's what my magazine is. And in my magazine, there are pages with lots of different colours on. If I just flick through, there's quite a nice red page. There's a page there with some blue. It doesn't matter if it's got other little bits and pieces on. Plenty of green on that page. And you could just rip those pages out and use those coloured bits. Make them into little small dots or just roughly torn bits, and you'll have lots of things of different colours. When I was rooting around my house thinking what else could people use, I found some post-it notes. So you might find post-it notes of different colours. They can just be scrunched up or ripped up. If you've got tissue paper, that could be scrunched up. Bits of material, so I've got a green and a white and a blue there. You might be able to find something like that. If you just want to stick with good old using felt pens or crayons, then absolutely fine, do that. Not a problem at all. However, I thought making it with pasta might be a bit of a lark. So I've got a nice blue bit of card here, which I'm lucky enough to have because I have some of the Messy Church stuff at home. But if you don't have that, you could use any kind of cardboard or paper. Might as well make use of some of that stuff that Amazon sends us so often. So you could even make it on a piece of card like that. As well as my coloured pasta, I've also got some PVA glue. Now, you might not have PVA glue. It's going to be the best to stick the pasta down or anything that's quite heavy. But if you're using little bits of paper, then a Pritt stick would do. Anything at all. You can even make your own glue using flour and water. So let's get on with the craft. Okay, so we're ready to start making. I wonder how many of you have guessed what it is we're going to be making today. I'll give you a bit of a clue. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, a kind of indigo, and a kind of violet. Yeah, we're going to be making a rainbow. Okay, and while we're making our rainbow, maybe you can think about why we're making a rainbow, but we'll talk more about that in the Zoom on Sunday. So, I'm going to be making a rainbow. If you want to, you could perhaps put a guiding line on your piece of card of an arc of a rainbow, and particularly for little ones, they might need something like that to follow. I've got my glue here. I'm not lucky enough to have a paintbrush, so I have got a little medicine spoon that I thought I would use. And actually, to be honest, I really quite enjoy using my fingers with a bit of PVA glue, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, I've got my arch, and I'm just going to put some glue along that arch, and I'm going to put plenty. Just why not? It's good fun, isn't it? Look at all that lovely glue. Don't put your fingers in your mouth, kids, if you have been using the PVA glue. It's quite fun to peel off afterwards, I always find. So I've made my kind of first arc there, and I'm guessing I'm probably going to need some more at some point. That's my dishwasher making that noise. Thanks, dishwasher. Okay, I'm going to start with red, because if you know the colours of the rainbow, I always remember it with Roy G. Biv. So red, orange, yellow, G for green, Biv, blue, indigo, and violet. So I'm going to put my red on first. And I'm just going to scatter the little bits of pasta on to my arc that I made. And depending on how much pasta you have, you can make it bigger or smaller. It's entirely up to you. Also depends maybe how big your piece of card is. It may be that ultimately all the bits won't stick. It really doesn't matter. I've actually got two different shapes of pasta here. I've got some curly ones and some straight ones. Again, doesn't matter. Maybe use bows or something. That would be really interesting to see. Right, so that's my red. So R for red, Roy, O for orange. So this is my orange colour. I need a bit more of my PVA here. I need to put some more on my arc. Interestingly, my husband, who's a scientist, tells me that when I asked him, what colour is indigo really? He said, well, actually, it's a bit of an unknown colour because he tells me Albert Einstein, who decided what the colours of the rainbow or the colour spectrum were, was a bit obsessed by the number 7. And he was very keen for the rainbow to have 7 colours. And in actual fact, there's some thoughts that it really only has 6. And of course, they all blend into each other a little bit. So apparently, he may well have just invented the colour indigo so that he could say there were 7 colours in the colour spectrum. Interesting. You learn something every day. Never stop learning. Okay, so I've got my red, I've got my orange, R-O-Y, Roy, G, Biv. So I'm going for my yellow next, a bit more of this lovely PVA glue. I'm trying not to do them too thick because you kind of end up with it very small in the centre. So a bit of yellow. Interestingly, I thought dyeing pasta yellow wouldn't have a lot of effect, but it is actually quite yellowy. Here we are. The orange had less effect, but I had to experiment by mixing yellow and red together for the orange. So, okay. Oh, I think that's starting to look quite nice. I'll hold it up in a sec and see how much falls off. A bit of yellow. Not bad so far. So we've got red, orange, yellow, Roy, G for green. Okay, so here's our green. My green's maybe not as bright as I would have liked it, but it is green. Looks a bit like spinachy pasta. Ooh. Really is messy, isn't it? That's what Messy Church is all about, after all. I hope you're making it somewhere sensible in your house and not like on the best dining room tablecloth or something. Okay, so here's my greens. If you worry about the PVA glue being on the top, it really doesn't matter because when it dries clear. So you don't have to kind of think, oh no, I've got glue all on top of my thing. Oh, I've got a green in the yellow bit there though, so that won't do. It doesn't really matter, does it? As long as we're making a rainbow and we're all having fun. Okay, so R-O-Y-G, G, B, B for blue. Okay, so we're on our blue now. A bit more of that lovely PVA glue. Oh, I'm just going to get rid of that bit. Okay, so let's pop that in there. G, bit of blue, indigo, violet. So my indigo, which might not really exist, I'm going for a kind of pinky colour. Food colouring on it said pink, but I used brown vinegar. I'm not sure that was the best idea, to be honest. I think it added a bit of darkness to some of the colours. Hence my purple becoming like black, but there we go. Only 2 bits left. I'm sure you've got the general gist of this now, haven't you? Feel free to fast forward. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking at this point, I just want to get the last of my colours in. If you ended up with colours that are different to the colours of the rainbow or the colour spectrum, really doesn't matter. As you can see, my purple is a bit black. You might have white in there somewhere. I'm not too worried. This isn't a science lesson. This is just making messy stuff and thinking about what it's got to do with God and his message to us. So really doesn't matter. Okay. Right. Now let me hold that up and see what happens. It's not all going to be completely stuck yet, but I thought it would still be quite nice for you to be able to see. Well, a few bits falling off, but there we have our pasta rainbow. So if you want to make your rainbow in advance, please do, but make sure you join us for the Zoom so that we can see what you made. You can hold it up and let us see it all. Or if you want to send us a picture beforehand, you can do that as well. Especially if you can't make it to the Zoom, please do the craft anyway, and you can always catch up with the Zoom afterwards. Bye.